Hello. So today I woke up and I was like, I want to make a silly video, you know? I want to do something where I tell myself at the end I want to have done something. And I thought, what is something that is kind of very close to what I would make as my own like original music, but that hits home, but also kind of different, but simple enough to be a very quick video. And it was like water levels. I love water levels music in video games, and this is why I'm like, I'm gonna make that, I'm gonna try that. I think one of my favorite ever water levels is from Donkey Kong Country. Listen to that masterpiece. Oh yeah, right. Copyrights, I forgot. Let me show you what it might sound like. What a transition, I'm so good at this. Alright, so I wanted to actually make the whole recording separately and then comment afterwards on what I'm doing, but I ended up talking a lot while making it. So thing is, I didn't start talking immediately, so I'm gonna just explain quickly. Why am I being cold right now? What the hell? So after being cold, like as soon as I clicked on recording, whatever, here's what I did in the meantime. So I had that really simple little kick pattern. If I had the metronome so you can have an idea of the rhythm. You know, like nothing biggie, just this nice little melody over there. After that, I had the main chords, which are drones, pads, basically. If I go here, I have the vital synth and some Valhalla shimmer, which role is to really put in a huge amount of space in reverb. If I get rid of it, it's just not gonna be the same. See, it's way more real with it. And then we have a simple little arpeggiator kind of melody right there. Once again, with Valhalla, this time with a vintage verb, so it's like reverb but a little less intense. And then this little melody as well, which is basically the exact same, but I took the notes and I went like, and that's what happened with this. Then with Hive, this time another synth to really give this little underwater impression. I added the old filter right there, so basically without it and with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you have the live reaction of everything I do. So I already have that beginning. It's kind of cool. When it comes to that silly little arpeggiator, why not like put it like that? So we have, what I love with the auto filter is that you really have that underwater effect. So you can do that right there with the cutoff, but I am just gonna use it separately for this one. And like over time, it will become more and more clear until a specific climax kind of thing. So for now, we're gonna keep it right there. I can still work with relatively nice, cool little soften instead of blam blam blam. That's my best explanation. I'm such a good teacher at that. Okay, so we have that. I'm gonna need a nice cool little drums. So I'm gonna just check through all of them. Definitely not. I can try that. No, that sucks. Never mind. That's nice. That's more like it. Obviously, we have that little kick over there. So because I have my own kick, I want to get rid of it. I'm just gonna whoop, get out. There we go. So nothing behind that is audible, which is basically the bass and the kicks. Now I have my own little kick, and I'm gonna name, by the way, kick. Not whoa, kick. There we go. So now, because I've named it, what I can do is side chaining. I'm here to do a silly little video, so I'm not gonna go into deep details, but basically it's giving room to the kick like that. Here, select kick, and now every time the kick kicks, it makes some space. See? I'm gonna do that to put some room for the kick, but I don't want it to be too much because I still want that drowned feeling to it. Gonna put it to everyone, all of them. What I could even do with the drums is actually put some kind of 8-bit to it. But I've put some bit crush. There we go, that's kind of nice. Save. Most important part of making stuff. Save. So something I've been not doing, which is pretty important actually, is the bass. Vital is the last thing I've ever installed, so I'm not really familiar with it yet, so I'm gonna explore the bass I might have. Let's see. Well, first of all, that's laggy. Sounds nice. Let's start here. Let's make our way there. You're not in the right scale. Why aren't you in the right scale? You're not helping me right now. Let's see what that does. I feel like I still could add something more to the drums. Some repetitive chick 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 kind of thing, but I'm not sure if I want a hi-hat for that. Okay, that one sounds cool. What if I pitch it up a bit? 7 should be cool. It's too slow, so I'm gonna completely crush it so it goes faster basically. It's nice actually, I like it. I was about to do some, you know, like the kicks, do it myself kind of thing, but I stumbled upon this sample which actually works the way I had imagined it to work. So what I like with the bass is that it has this little Animal Crossing like row at the beginning, which is basically this one, I guess. Exactly. And I wish I could hear it more because the bass is very high. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put this one higher so we can hear the round properly. So there's this whole thing of adding EQs inside of the synth, but I'm a guy who likes to be organized when it comes to making music, not in real life. My desk is a mess. But when it comes to do creative stuff, I like to be organized. So even though there's a built-in EQ literally inside of the synth, I like to have it out of it. Like here, I can control it more easily. So I'm gonna simply add my silly little EQ there and get rid of the bass myself. Well, not rid of it, just smoother. So we have a nice bass. The problem remains it has a lot of resonance, so I'm gonna add a soothe too, and the bass, demudding the bass like that. If I put delta, which is basically hearing what is being changed, so we're getting rid of that basically. It's pretty neat. So we can still have the bass, but it's less aggressive. I'm thinking of some chords, like more pads, I know, but the feeling that I wanted to go with was really like drowned, so pads are not a problem. I should have too much trouble with that. And this one would not be a drone like constantly in the background like this one does, more like an occasional you know, like every 4 notes basically. I always go with Diva. But honestly, Vital has been so good so far, I'm actually gonna keep using that. Let's go back into Scalar, which is right there. And let's see a scale that I like. Oh, this one's nice. Use it. Yeet. That sounds cool. Maybe less attack. And definitely less release. Yeah, that's it. And add our own reverb. Yeah, another one. So let's just go there. All of them. Chic. And there we go. So as usual, I like to do my little auto filter. It will sound like this the whole way too until I add the snare with it. Then it will progressively go all the way up there until it reaches that. I'm still gonna do a nice slope. And right there I like go crazy. Not too crazy there, because I want the last part to be crazy. So since this whole thing is underwater. Once again, I want to use an auto filter for all of them. So I'm gonna create a new track there. I'm gonna call it effects. Take all of my babies into effects, which means every time I change one thing in effects, all of them will be affected. So here, just before the drop, we're gonna take that, take that here, drown it like that, so it resurfaces back there. Maybe go it more progressively. Next step is gonna I like to do a little transition with a reversed kick. So I'm basically gonna do that. Bounce to new track, thank you. So now we have that, which is the kick separately on another track, but as an audio, not a MIDI. Right click, reverse, and it does that nice little smooth transition like. And I'm gonna add auto filter that goes the other way around. So instead of drowning, it goes more dry. And put that guy right over here. We don't need it to go all the way up there. Just that would be enough. Let's see that. Nice. Last thing I want is an ethereal kind of feeling, but with the exact same chords I've put on the waves. You know, except this one, I'm gonna want white noise. And what is better for white noise than my sweet little hive again? So first of all, we have to find a good pad. Why not this one, but maybe just not as low. Yeah. And now we take this and white noise. And once again, you know the drill. Auto filter, we drown that. Now I'm just gonna sculpt things. I think we pretty cool. What does it do? What does it do? I'm curious. I'm actually thrilled. Yeah. What if I add some lower notes to that? Oh, that's even better, actually. Let's just do our own little waves at this point. Like, it starts here and it decreases. It repeats. I was thinking about it, but I think I exactly have what I need. Underwater, exactly. So let's add that in our track right here. Or pitch. Thanks. So what does it sound like on the go? Sounds nice. It's gonna add some nice background. Like, look, without it and with it. You can hear it if I put it all the way there, but that's not the point. But I think what would be cool is that I do not link it with the transition, so it always plays in the background, so we get that it's really underwater kind of thing. Yeah. You know what? I'd even get the volume a little louder just for that part. Like maybe, what, 3 dB? Maybe 5. Okay. And in that case, you're gonna go all the way up there. I'm gonna add a lane for each effect I do so we can have, well, I hope it can help you to understand better. So we have the volume up, we have the EQ, so it goes up there near the end so we can hear more of the high end of it. And we'll also have that, which gets rid, I've already done that if you paid attention, which is getting rid of all that's behind that. So all the low, all the bass, all the is getting rid of, so we can only keep the high sounds instead. High sounds that at the same time are getting up over here. So really I wanted it to focus on that high end because the whole rest of it is just underwater, so it's very low while here. you see? And I don't want it to end abruptly, like, so I'm gonna make a nice little end, like, E. Let's see that now. What is going on? There's something wrong. The bass is wrong. The bass is wrong. The bass is wrong. I'm gonna add the exact same effect so we can get rid of the lows. There we go. Now I'm gonna add some very light notes, like piano notes, some actual piano notes. Piano notes, if I mentioned piano notes. Then I'm gonna use one of my favorite plugins for that. This is brilliant. Una corda. So now, like something like that exactly. Okay, maybe something more spatial. I'm gonna try to add on the second part of it, which is gonna be the very last part of the track, some harmony. Excellent. Gonna humanize that a bit so it doesn't, you know, like starts all at once. It goes a little off track, so it really simulates as if someone was pressing the keys. And same goes for the velocity, for the how intense we press the key. So now maybe put all of the high notes higher. And you are taking a little too much space. But I think there we go. It's pretty good. Well, after every adjustment, after making a little bit of an arrangement kind of thing, here's the final result. So once again, this is a silly vid. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. So here's a little result of that little silly thing. So yeah, there you go. I like to really imagine this as if it was a kind of so the theme being a level underwater, if it was a kind of a little moment, you know, like the whole level is silent and then you go in that one little space, one little cave that leads to something really pretty with a lot of colors, maybe corals, colorful crystals kind of thing, you know, very like a spectacle, and this plays in the background. You know, like there's this, especially this one sample that starts playing really goes like, it brings with it kind of wow, you know, like right there you enter the cave or the whatever part of the sea with a lot of cool stuff, and then the level ends. So that's the kind of thing I wanted to go with, and that is absolutely not what I had in mind. I got carried away doing some transition stuff. I was like, I'm gonna do one video with one little loop like that. Like, this is basically what I had in mind first, you know, like, oh yeah, that's good, let's make a video about something this length, and then I went all in. So whatever. Sorry, don't judge that. That's nothing complex, that's nothing wow. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, that is super cool. This track will be available on my SoundCloud for free. But anyways, thank you very much. If you stumbled upon me thanks to this video, you never heard of me before, I make a lot of music. You want to check it out, it's right there on my channel or anywhere else that you want actually. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, like. If you really enjoyed it, you can just sub. Very cool, thanks. And have a nice day, nice evening, nice whatever you're doing. Maybe even pooping, I don't know. That's a sick thing to poop to, right? Like if you really are pooping while listening to that, like hell yeah, you know? Anyways, bye. What am I doing?